ourselves, and we just all listened to a 20-minute Unity Codes production by Eeshi-Ra over an Amazonic sound system that I put together at Harmony Ridge at the conclusion of, what's the title of it?
Language of Creation.
Language of
The
Creation.
Language of Creation led by Tantra.
Nevada City, California.
Nevada City, California.
Yeah.
So,
March.
anyway, so
March.
that's what you are now watching. The
And that was
aftermath of that
great. It was
experience.
Yay, it was fabulous!
fabulous.
Oh,
Thank
my
you.
God.
Let's talk about it. I'm so happy, and I've had pain in my body for 3 days. I have no pain in my body.
Wow.
I just had this experience of energy actually running through my body, like whatever was blocking, and it's just rising. It's just doing what it wants to do, and I had to go. God, you're so cute. This experience about the sound actually moving, and then I would move with the sound, and then sometimes it went back and forth, like from manifestation and physical, non-physical, like that wave. And what else? Oh, and then I knew Susan was next to me, and I was completely, completely whole myself, and related, and it was just God, I loved it. It just feels really good. I feel different. I feel like something's different.
Yeah.
Great. Wonderful.
I am still blissed out. Every cell in my body was responding to it. They were vibrating. And then I don't know if it's the subtle body, the closest body to your physical body was also vibrating. I could feel the energetics all around me, and I just felt embodied by the sound. I just became that sound. My whole body resonated. Fabulous.
Oh, great. I'm so excited. I'm so happy.
I have to say that I was completely lost in the sound. I wasn't aware of the room. I couldn't feel you next to me. I wasn't aware that we were sitting very close. It was all about the sound. And then the back of my brain is kind of humming. Like the back of my head is humming. It started about halfway through and it hasn't stopped. So I'm not sure what that is.
Like an audible numb or more of a sensory
No,
numb?
like I can.
Like antennas.
Something's
Yes.
activated.
Like your antennas are
activated.
You know how they say you only use 10% of your brain? Maybe I got a few more.
Yeah, they
Okay.
can awaken like that.
For me, I didn't feel anybody around me. Well, I came in a few minutes after you guys had gotten settled, but I was touching chairs and things, and immediately I felt my hands start vibrating. I felt it go through my body, and then I actually felt the crystalline structure within the cells. You know how the water, you know how it forms with the sound. I felt that in my cells, and so I was just like, okay, I'm going to focus on love because I want my cells to be full of love. And so I just sat here, and I felt like we were in a spiral, but we were all individual, but we were together. I felt like we were all one. I think that's why we don't feel each other. I think we felt there were no boundaries between us. Like I touched the chair, and Georgia came in, but I think we were all like that crystalline structure and just rotating and vibrating. And I feel very sharp. I was very tired an hour ago. I was getting very low energy. And I've had some physical stuff clear out, and I thought it was wonderful. Sound going around the room was just phenomenal. And I did not feel agitated 1 second. And I did not like, some people had experienced yesterday.
Yeah. Wow. Thank you. No, thank you. This is great. Anyone else? Yeah.
Yeah. I just loved it too. I've never experienced anything like that. The closest thing I can think of is like singing bowls. I have a wonderful Tibetan monk who does singing bowls all around your body.
Yeah.
So it's a little
Very
bit,
similar, right?
Yeah, it's a little bit similar to that, what happens in your body, but it just magical. It felt so good. I could feel it in my brain. My brain was vibrating, and then I could feel it up my arms too. And actually, I got into love, but more kind of sensual.
You got turned on by it.
Yes, I
That's the ecstasy going unity. That's the ecstasy of unity.
I was there.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Turned on, yeah.
Well, maybe I found a new application.
Again, this is
It was good for me.
know why your nickname's Magic.
I don't know if everybody else has experience, but I feel like every chakra is really open.
Let's get your disc spinning.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I can I feel open, and I feel very balanced. Like there's not anywhere else down here or up here. You know, it's all like. It's like after being to a retreat with a guru and being in bliss for like with Saima for a week.
And loving, loving, like don't you just love everyone?
Yeah.
I'm in
But I can also feel the space in between my cells and the space within the cells themselves. There's, into my body. My body's just tingling right now. There's something that has moved out, and what's moved in is pure energy and light.
Beautiful.
So I'm spaciousness.
Yeah.
Cells are all
And
fresh.
I feel very calm. But go ahead.
a guru
Martin,
and
Martin.
Saima for a week. For a week.
Okay.
For a week. Sometimes it's 9 or a lot of us go to the guru Saima for a week.
Wow.
And this is the way I feel at the end of that week.
Yeah.
I mean, it was, and
Not
in fact,
after
I
a
was,
day.
after a week. And I was,
And we did this for what, 20 minutes?
Sign me
I mean,
up.
it was like the
I think
whole
Neil
weekend and then
Molly
this. It was really magical. It was really magical. And I also did it, somebody was kicking me, but I didn't feel you. It was, you know what I mean? I could sense it, but I couldn't sense it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I couldn't.
It's like
It
a
was,
vibration within the.
it was really interesting. I was like
No
completely lost
reactivity
in this wave of existence, in this blissful wave of existence. It was really.
When I opened my eyes,
smashed
I
it.
agree with these guys. I felt, there was so much light around me and in me and it's really clear and high. But something I noticed while we were doing it is mostly I felt the vibration in different parts of my body, and I tried to stay in a state of meditation and just feel and sense what was going on. But when I drifted off and started thinking about things, the images were way more vivid than when I'm just drifting off normally.
Interesting.
And at one point, I drifted off a little bit and started thinking about food, and my mouth started to salivate. It's it really intensifies your
Sensations.
all
Your
of
sensual
What you're present
experience,
to.
yeah. I think there might be some applications there.
Yeah.
I think about that.
Cool. Very cool. Anyone else? You had something that you wanted to share before. Do you want to share it now about the first time?
Yeah, the first time for me was intense. My whole body had body reactions last night, and so much so that I couldn't get off the floor when we were done. I couldn't speak. I couldn't orient myself very well, and I just wanted to be outside, and breathe the air and lay down on the ground, but it was too cold, and so I felt completely like my mind stopped, which is not for me. I have one of those active minds, and it stopped, and it just stayed really quiet, and then there was a place of real vulnerability where I felt really young and very small, and I was tended to my dear friend behind me here, Sarah. And it's interesting because that's not some place that I normally would go. I'm very protected and take care of myself. And but whatever that music yesterday did, it just sort of stripped it all out and allowed me to really be where I was, which was very open, exposed, vulnerable, raw. This experience today, I was so high from yesterday. I didn't sleep well. I woke up with a massive headache, all kinds of body stuff going on from last night. And so that was with me, but I felt really exhausted, but really excited, happy, blissed out, you know, even though I was having trouble concentrating, having trouble with the day today. And I had all this pressure up in this area. I've had it all day, and I still have it. But what happened with this was, it's as if I, like you mentioned, I became the music. I felt myself going in and out, like in shapes, like that. I don't know what that shape is, you know, that one that infinity shape at one point in the music. Then there was a spiral shape, which I don't, you know, I was just like, whoa. And then the bowl, you know, there's this whole, and I thought, wow, that's a trip. What's going on with me? You know, I just sort of wrote it like a wave and allowed it. And then I drifted off, and some images came in. I'm like, where'd that come from? Which is pretty profound, you know. And so it was just really, I'm a music person, so for me it was like being held and being loved, you know, by something that music and sound is a big thing for me. So it felt like I was being embraced by sound in a way that for me is very, very healing and comforting. And the pressure's still in my head, but it's much more dissipated and much more, I feel like I'm grounded, like I'm more present in this thing that I live in. So thank you.
Oh yeah.
Thank you so much.
But yeah, so it's my intention too to work with those codes, but also integrate it into a listening experience. And what I mean by that is that when, like, I mean, music therapy, we understand music therapy. Music has a therapeutic effect, right? And then, like, the codes are on a different level, a little bit deeper activation type stuff. But what I believe, or what I'm intending, or what I am doing, is creating these listening experiences that involve very, very specific music that guides you in a certain way that maybe in the background you might hear it's good, but when you're like intent and concentrated on that music, you're really present with that music, right? You're activated with that music and you're focused, but then you're also working with the codes and the tones, and so it's kind of appeasing different levels of your brain and your sensory experience. So, and then with the spatialization, obviously, is sure, she did a great job doing the ocean waves around it. But to really do, you know, musical journeys that integrate the solfeggio
the
tones
or whatever, or the steel.
Yeah.
I don't know what that was. Those were really.
What sounds about you?
Well, I guess the only thing to add, because I share a lot of what you guys experiences, for me was more of kind of a posture thing. You know, for me to usually sit and meditate, I kind of have to fight with myself to, you know, stand, you know, sit up, and I really just didn't even think about it. I mean, at one point I remember thinking, wow, I feel so aligned, but I wasn't making an effort to do it. It just was happening. Yeah. And then one time, I think towards the end, I did kind of drift off, but I was still aware of the sound and being with the sound, and I didn't have any visual stuff. But at one point, you know, my mind was still aware, but my body did a little like that, like it kind of, so that was kind of strange, like I snapped into something or something. But wow, it was great. It was fun.
Cool,
It was
cool,
really
great.
Yes.
All right.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, my pleasure.
So is there anything about, like, it seems to me for, I feel very stable. So I'm wondering about a stabilization of emotional, mental, physical beingness, that this might be therapeutic for that. You know, depression, non-depression, you know, like just can you guys not, okay, sorry, I'm just distracted. So I'm just wondering about that, if that's
Within the scope of applications?
particularly, you know, it feels like the brain's activated and balanced in some way.